All right, folks, John Rush here today. My son Richard Rush behind the camera. This is a review of the 2017 all-new Chevy Cruze Hatchback. Now, Cruze is not new, as you know. It's been around for a long time. In fact, as a family, we have a history with the Cruze. My sister and my dad and mom both own a Cruze. Love them very much. This is the hatchback version. So this is the car you've seen in a lot of the Chevrolet commercials where it just shows the front half, looks like a Cruze, and then they reveal and show you that it's actually a hatchback. Love this car, by the way. I like the features of the hatchback over the regular sedan. Let's get right into it. So we come around the front. They did some styling changes on the car, as you can see on the Cruze in general. It's a good-looking car. It got really good, I think, nice, sleek lines to it. Again, really nice, sleek lines on the car. I think they've done a good job on it. I like the way it works. The headlights at night work fantastic. Little LED bend around the lights there that Richard's showing you. Nice styling down the side. And they did a good job with the hatchback of just really sort of blending everything together. And I really, just looks great. The car, this particular model, 1.4 liter Ecotec turbo engine, 153 horsepower with the 6-speed automatic trans, I should say, which actually works really, really well. Comes in the LT and the Premier trim levels, which is what this particular car is right here. Let me get out of the shadows here. Get my shadow off the car, I should say. This car, as it sits, $26,870. You can get this in the RS option, which gives you a spoiler in the back, a body kit, some fog lamps in front, and 18-inch aluminum wheels. So with that, tell you what, let's just pop right into the trunk, which I've got the key fob in my pocket, or there's a little button right there you can push up. And I apologize, we've got some stuff in the back here. Let me move this out real quick for you, just so you can see how much room it is in here. And it's a very spacious rear area, as you can see. It's got a lot of room back here. And again, the one thing you have to note, though, we mention this a lot on vehicles like this, it does slope up pretty drastically right here. So taller items, you're going to be a little bit limited in. But as you can see, with these seats folded down, which I can do real quick, and we actually had a bunch of stuff in it over the weekend, over this past Christmas weekend, and you can see nice flat storage. Really, it's got a lot of storage capacity in the back with those seats folded down. So just something to note. Rear legroom, which I'll show you in just 1 minute, is 2 inches more than the typical competitor that it competes with. So a Ford Focus, for example, some of the cars that are in its class, 2 inches more legroom. So I tell you what, let's just do that. I'll jump right into that other passenger seat over there, and I'll show you how much legroom is in the 2017 Chevy Cruze Hatchback. All right, climbing in 2017 Chevy Cruze Hatchback in the rear seats, I should say. And as I get in, pretty easy access. A little bit of a low roof line back here, not a big deal. Again, you'll notice $26,000. There is a few soft touch materials, but in general, hard plastic, which is really what you'd expect in a car of this price range. Not that that's a knock or a problem at all. It's not. Nice soft touch materials throughout here. Console in the middle that actually folds down, or I should say an armrest, and heated rear seats with another power port down below. Now, this seat right here is set for about a 5'10", 5'11" foot person, and you can see I've still got a full hand width of room in between my knees and the seat in front of me. Good headroom through here for somebody my height. Again, I'm 5'10", and plenty of room for me in the back seat. So let's get into the front seat, and I'll go through some of the other features that come on the 2017 Chevy Cruze Hatchback. All right, folks, now on the front seat, 2017 Chevy Cruze Hatchback, and again, pretty standard in the front, just like all the other Cruzes that we have reviewed in the past. Nice lines, by the way. Chevrolet, you've done a really nice job of making what I would consider to be a compact car feel very roomy, very luxurious. You've done a really good job on the center stack. Everything is really dialed in really, really well. Richard's showing you the door panel over there on the side. Again, heated seats here in the front. It does have a little console here. It's not huge, but there is a console in the middle. And again, we're a smaller car, so you're not going to get a really, really wide console. And I'll make a comment on this, and I think this is something Richard would also attest to. Even with the bigger iPhone 7 Pluses, you can still sit them. You know, mine's got a case on it, so it doesn't fit all the way down, although you can remove the plastic, and it would fit in there just fine. So depending upon what phone you have, you can actually get that stored right there, which, by the way, it's a great place. You can also put it up here, but this ends up being a really, really nice, convenient place to store it, and it just sticks there. You've got your anti-slip that you can actually turn on and off, parking assist also, couple of cup holders, as you can see, and there's another little storage compartment right here, along with your one power port and the USB port, so essentially 2 power ports there, and an audio input. There is dual climate control on this particular model, on this Platinum version. And again, heated front seats. And I tell you what we'll do, without going into any other details on the car, I'll just go through it as we go and drive this vehicle. We'll go take a drive on the 2017 Chevy Cruze Hatchback. Hey, real quick, I want to make a correction too. It does not have dual climate control. My bad. In fact, I knew that as we were driving the vehicle up to actually do this review, because we talked about it. My bad. We drive a lot of test vehicles throughout the year. This doesn't, just because there's two knobs, one is fan, the other is the climate for both passengers, so it doesn't have dual, which frankly, in a car this size, you really don't need. A lot of great features in this car that are standard in its class. You get the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and you get the great GM system, which, by the way, I think is a great system. But the only other thing I would like to see on this radio, GM, if you're listening, is a manual tune knob. That's about the only complaint with this system that I have. Other than that, it's phenomenal. Phone syncs up well. It's easy to use. It's easy to navigate. That part of it works tremendously well. And again, the heated seats and the rest of what it's got. And of course, you can see up here, comes with OnStar for the telematics side of the. All right, as we start to drive, I put it in reverse. You'll notice backup camera. Apologize for the shadows, but you can see, and it does have dynamic grid lines that you can kind of see. You know, I shouldn't say kind of. You can get right up close, so I can get right up against the curb line here. You can see exactly where you are, distance from the curb. You can actually turn the lines on and off by pushing the little icon there. So just something to note there. And you can actually see the back of the bumper right down below us. So you really can see how close you're getting if you're trying to get into a really tight spot parking. Frankly, with this car, I rarely use that because the car is so small. When you go to park it and all the rest of the things that you do with it, it just works really well. Wheel is lined out extremely well. As far as all the controls go, standard for GM. Nice dash setup. I like that part of it. Works really, really well. Automatic high beam lights on this particular model car, which again, I'll make sure that I note this, $26,870, and this is the premium trim level on this particular car. We averaged mile per gallon now. Get this, folks. Some of you aren't going to believe this. Close to 40 miles to the gallon around town. So our averages was anywhere between 35 and 45. So really averaged about 40 miles to the gallon across the board driving this city highway. And frankly, power-wise on this 1.4 liter turbo engine, you know what? It's plenty of power. The thing just works great for such a small engine. So Chevrolet, you did a great job on it. In fact, it tells me right on the dash in front of me that our best has been 54 miles to the gallon. So if you just take our averages, we're right around that 40 mark, which, you know, for a non-hybrid vehicle, Chevrolet, you've done a great job. So, yeah, real quick, I'm going to let Richard make a comment. I'm going to pull over for just a second and let him comment on this particular car. I like the car. I think it drives well, runs well, handles well. For what you get out of the car for the money, honestly, especially for like a first-time driver's car, which with all of the teen driving assist safety things that it's got built in, which, by the way, no one else has, and you need to look up more of that on the GM website, I think it's a pretty decent car, Richard, for the price. What do you think?
Absolutely. I really like the hatchback. I know that a lot of manufacturers are trying to go with the hatchback to go a little bit more sporty, kind of give cars a different feel. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. I would say this is one of the times that it's very much successful. Really like the look of the car, how it handles the lane departure safety, the blind spot monitoring, a lot of the different safety features. And as you mentioned, right at $26,000, you get a lot of nice luxury features, keyless entry, keyless start, and again, those safety features we mentioned, which you're not going to find. Pretty hard bargain to beat. Yep.
And again, just to mention what Richard said, the lane departure, and I will tell you, one of the first thing I had to get used to on this car is you engage it, and if you don't have your turn signal on and you're trying to change the lanes, it doesn't really want to let you out of the lane. So it works extremely well in not letting you get out of that lane. So again, for new drivers, and GM has put a big push behind the teen driving. You've got the ability to monitor what your teens are doing and things along those lines. I actually interviewed one of the reps on the teen driving portion on the radio a while back, and they've done some really great things to assist you if you've got a new driver that's going to be in this vehicle. So whether it's your family car and you let your teens drive it or you buy it for them as their first car, either way, you've got the ability to control and monitor a lot of what they're doing inside of the vehicle. So check that out. They've even got a specific website dedicated just towards the teen driving, so I would encourage you to check that out. But again, go check this vehicle out if you're interested. It's a great value, 1.4 liter engine, 40 miles to the gallon, 6-speed automatic transmission, Chevy Cruze for really the mid-20s. How can you go wrong? So Chevrolet, fantastic job. Go check it out at your local Chevy dealer. Tell them John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.